Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is so very special. I was waiting for this palette for such a long time. And when I saw this palette arrive to my doorstep, my jaw was on the floor, okay? Because I was so excited to see this palette. Let me show you the packaging. This is Gourmande Girl's Nightshade palette. Look at the packaging, how beautiful it is. This is in collaboration with Doodles by the Money on Instagram. If you guys know, she already did a palette with Gourmande. She's done a couple of palettes with Gourmande Girls, but this by far is my favorite palette from Gourmande Girls so far. And this is the Spooked palette. This is the earlier version. This is how it looked. Now this Nightshade palette, wait till you see the inside because this is gorgeous. Like, look at the shades in the palette. I'll give you a close-up in the outside lighting too so that you can see all the shifts in the dimension that can be created using this palette. It's so beautiful. And now let's move on to the swatches of this palette because live swatches, who doesn't like live swatches, right? So the first shade is Enchanted. Then we have Bittersweet. We have Hypnotic. And we have Henbane. Yeah, I think Henbane. I think when I was like doing my looks, I did tell you that there is a shorts using this palette also, like swatching it. So if you're interested in that, I'll put it in the eye cards above for you guys. But this palette is so pretty. So here you go, the first 4 shades. Look how beautiful and dimensional it is. Look at those shifts. Look at those shifts. The top one is definitely a iridescent multichrome. And the second one, I don't know if it is a multi-chrome or a duochrome, but it looks superb. Let's move on to the next shades. We have Poisonous, Deadly, Night Fury, and Belladonna. Look at them. Look at these. So pretty. Okay, so let's watch that. Look at the next 4 shades. Superb quality multichromes, and those mattes are so creamy. Really pretty. This is more like a purpley greeny shade, and this is more like a gunmetal purple bronze. Really pretty. Okay, let's move on to the next shades. We have Dream Shade. This is such a pretty shade. Dream Shade, Nightshade, Flowering, so pretty, and Woody. Look at that. Those 4 together would be amazing. Let me swatch it. So those are the next 4 shades. Look how pretty that is. Oh my God, I'm in love with this color story. Now let's move on to the last 2 shades, which is Hellbore, which is the shimmery green shade, and then Black Knight, which is a matte black shade. There you go. My kids are going in and out of the house. That's why you hear the music. And that is the palette swatched for you guys. Look how pretty this palette is. This palette launches on July 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know the price of the palette, but I'm assuming that it's going to be around that $55 to $60 price range. I'll put all the details in the description box below for you guys to check it out. And you can use the code SMITHYSONY to save some dollars off. I am going to now move on to creating 2 looks using this palette. These are the 2 looks that I created. So if you're ready, let's begin. Oh my God, I'm so excited to dip into this baby because I've been waiting. Look at the color story. This is so unique in my collection, like so unique. Let's start off first with the Nightshade, which is the name of the palette. So let's do that first, because how appropriate is that? And I'm going to take that on refer number 1. It's a beautiful purple shade, like a orchid shade, I would say. And let's start building that right there. I'm gonna take it towards like midsection of my lid, because I will deepen it out with another shade. But this shade by itself can be quite deep on like light to mid-tone people, I would say, because you know, Gourmande Girl shadows are very, very nice and pigmented, and they blend super easily. I'm going to take the same shade, Nightshade, on the lower lash line too. The shimmers, it will surprise you how beautiful the shimmers are. Like when I was swatching, I was like, what? I was not expecting it. Blending the same shade like that, and then we're gonna use the same brush. I'm just gonna turn it around, and I'm gonna take this shade, the yellow shade, which is called Bittersweet. Are we doing that? Yes. Let's do that. And then I'm gonna take that in the inner third of the crease, and then blend it with that orchid shade. So I'm just gonna do back and forth right where they are meeting, just so that we have like a smooth blend. Probably should use a different brush, just so that that yellow is more prominent. Just there. Now because I'm a more of a medium skin tone, if I want this yellow to pop, I can put like a white base, and that would make the yellow pop much more. But yeah, the star of the show is the purple, and I don't want to lose any purple. Okay, so I'm going to take the same brush with no additional product and just blending the yellow and the orchid shade together. I loved the Spooked palette that came last year for Halloween, and this is like a sister palette to that. Same Doodles by the Bunny is the one that collaborated on this palette too. I'm looking for a smaller brush. Okay, let's actually take the same brush, and I'm gonna dip into this shade Woody, and this is like a dark deep eggplant purple shade. The imprint on the shades are so good. Can you see that? There's Doodles by the Bunny, which is DB here. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's Gourmande Girls G, that is here. Then there is like flower pattern, leaf pattern. There's so many patterns. I'll show you obviously the close-up, but let's proceed with the eye look, because I don't want to take away anything from the eye look. Look how beautiful that purple is. Oh my god, I can die. It's so pretty. As soon as I saw this palette, my jaw was on the floor. It was so pretty. It's very unlike me to get so surprised by a palette, because I have like 10,000 palettes in my collection. To surprise me, it's quite a task. I'm going to dip back into that Nightshade shade and then just blending the edges just like that. So we've got a nice deep dark purpley tone on the outer corner, and then the Nightshade shade, and then the yellow, which is Bittersweet. I'm good with that. Now let's apply some glitter primer, because you know how much I'm dying to apply these shimmers on the eyes, and I want to do it like full justice, so I have to apply my glitter primer. That's probably too much. Let me take away some. I'm only gonna do 2 looks today, just because I have to go to office tomorrow, and I want to get this video up for you guys as quickly as I can. but don't you worry, there'll be more looks with this palette for sure, because this is stunning. Now let me tell you, when I saw this palette, like when I opened this palette before swatching, I thought this and this is like super close. This is more purpley and bright. This is more gunmetally and bronzy with a hint of purple. So that's the difference. Okay, let's take that purple shade, obviously, because we have to, and we're going to take this yellow shade and let's create some magic. Okay, I'm going to take that purpley shade, which is called Poisonous. I'm going to just apply it on a brush and see how it performs, because this is super creamy. I don't know if you can see it or not in the pan. It's super creamy, not like emollient kind of a formula, but super textured, super sparkly. That's why I feel like the NYX glitter glue would come in so handy. But I'm so sure if I go with my fingers, like the impact would be 10 times more. But that's exactly what I'm going to do with the yellow. I just want a little bit of blend with the purple shade, so that's why I went with the brush. But look how shiny and dimensional that is. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. So pretty. I don't even know which ones are multi-chromes, duochromes, just because everything seems like it has a shift going on. This truly, I can see like a shift happening. Okay, I'm gonna go back to that dark purple shade that we applied with no additional product, but I'm just gonna tap it on top of the edge, just so that everything is melted into each other, just like that. I'm gonna take this yellow shade, which is Flowering, on my ring finger, and this has so many shifts. It looks like a yellow. It has a green shift and a pink shift in certain angles. I don't know if you can see it or not. So pretty it is. Okay, I'm gonna apply that right there. Mix it with that purple. Oh my goodness. And I bet, like, even without that purple, if that was just on the pinks, it's so pretty. When I was swatching, I was just layering shadows and seeing if this like makes sense or not, and everything performed so beautifully. Just melting those two shades together. And I'm gonna take a definer brush, a tighter definer brush. I'm gonna dip into this Nightshade and just go over my lower lash line so that I don't want to lose that at all. Just like that. Just so pretty, so pretty. Okay, what I'm gonna do for the inner corners, oh my god, what should I do? Okay, let's take this shade, Dream Shade, in the inner corners, because it's so vibrant. It definitely has a little bit more purple shift running throughout it, but it'll just complement the purple that is in the lower lash line and mix it with that green iridescent shade, just like that. I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. And that's my first eye look. I love how beautiful the eyeshadow came out to be. I love the purple tones. That iridescent green shade is so beautiful, especially because it's like a topper shade. It can just layer onto anything and it will transform the shade. You saw that in the pan. It was like a yellow, but it transformed to a green as soon as I put it on top of that purple. It's just beautiful. I cannot wait to dive into other shades. Okay, so what are we gonna do? I want to do dark and smoky. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna first start off with this shade, this gray shade. We're gonna avoid greens today. I mean, we didn't avoid, you know, you could say that. But I'm gonna avoid greens for today, just because I want to play with the other shades more. And I generally do not like grays on me. So we're gonna see how this gray performs, because while swatching, this was so beautiful. I'm gonna take that all across my crease and make it like dark and smoky. I'm gonna take the same gray shade, which is called Deadly, on my lower lash line too. I'm gonna take this Belladonna shade, which is that, you know, the lavendery shade. And this can just be like a brightening shade. I'm just gonna go over the edges of that gray shade just to blend the edges, because that's a great blending shade, especially for that gray. Going with a very light tippy tappy motion and then blending, just because that shade is super pigmented. Okay, now I'm gonna dip into that black Nightshade, which is that black in the palette. So let's take that. Let's see how the black performs. I'm gonna tippy tap in the extreme outer corners. I generally do like Gourmande Girls black a lot because it's super buildable, and I love the blacks that are buildable. You can go extremely smoky, but I definitely prefer a black that's buildable because I don't want fallout all across my face. Just like that. I'm gonna also take the same black shade on the extreme corners with the lower lash line. I'm going back into that gray shade brush that we used. And this is BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A503. I'm just blending the edges. Just like that. And now we're going to dip into this shade, which is Night Furry, this one. But let's first apply our NYX glitter glue. Going with like the same technique. I'm not thinking about it, but yeah. Just like that. Now going into that Night Furry shade, the bronzy gunmetal purpley shade, and then just tippy tapping right there. Now you would see the difference. Can you see this? Bright, and this is like super dark and smoky. I'm gonna take that on the majority of the eyelid. It's so sparkly. Oh my. So pretty, so pretty. Okay, now for the inner corners, I'm going to dip into this shade, which is Enchanter. This one. And let's see. Looks like a white shimmer, right? Wait. Look at that. How pretty that is. It's like an iridescent purple shade. Just amazing. I definitely have to do more looks for you guys. I'm going to take this shade Woody again, this one, because I want that also on my lower lash line to blend it with that black. Yeah, just like that. Obsessed, like obsessed. I cannot even wait to play with more shadows. But let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And that's my second eye look. This is like a dark, smoky, sexy kind of an eye. I really like it. And this is like more playful on colors. I really like it. I was so happy when I saw this palette. Like, I seriously feel that they did absolutely amazing job. Whatever shade I tested, it was just amazing. And I do not have any doubts on any other shades also. And you do not have to worry. I know a lot of content creators who will play with those greens. So stay tuned, and I would myself want to do a green eye look. I definitely want to combine this green and this yellow and this purple together. I feel like that will be amazing. This purple with this lavender shade and this all over the eyelid would be absolutely stunning. Yeah, I played with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What? How many shades are there? I played with 12 shades instead of 14. So I only missed these two greens. So yeah, you have to excuse me for that, okay? But 12 shades, that's not bad at all. And I really loved playing with this palette. I'm hoping that this palette is going to be around that $55 mark. But this is like a sister palette to their original Spooked palette. So if you had the Spooked palette, now you have Nightshade. Now let me show you both open so that you can see how both of these would combine together, because you know we all want to see that. So this was Spooked and this, the top one, is Nightshade. Look how gorgeous they are together. Oh my god, so pretty. So pretty. Oh wow, I cannot wait to play with this all this fall. Oh my god, this was stunning, absolutely stunning. If you guys are interested in this palette, this palette launches on 27th of July and you can use the code SMITHYSONY to save 10% off. It is an affiliate link, so if you shop, I would earn a small commission out of it. And thank you for all those who support me and my channel. But this palette definitely gets a 2 thumbs up from my side. So I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys. If you did like it, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesday, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.